Hello, this is James with Survivorneers. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here and you have been following our content, feel free to subscribe below if you would like to do so. In this video, we're going to talk about why we get defensive. The last time we talked about what is defensiveness in a relationship and what it looks like, what it sounds like, and I hope that you gained some value from that video. And if you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to watch that one as we are developing this topic and this discussion about defensiveness. And some of those things that we talked about is how we can make excuses, how we can justify our behavior, bringing up past things, telling our partner we shouldn't feel that way, so on and so forth. And we're going to get into just a few here of why we get defensive. One of the first reasons that we get defensive is because we have a perceived attack of that information coming through. And this can be due to shame, anxiety, fear, and hear this one, even denial. And that is when we are not being honest with ourselves and we are simply in denial. Being defensive because we are having issues with control or power, a power struggle, so to speak, in that conversation. And so we have to be careful with this one because this can look like we are trying to talk over the person constantly and we are not taking turns giving that person to express what they want to express and just have no interest in that person's expression. And this can look messy and you begin to have a power struggle there and you feel loss of control. So that could be a reason why we get defensive, because we want to feel superior. Another reason that we can consider is that we are avoiding accountability. And again, this goes back to gauging whether we are being honest with ourselves. And one of those things that we can choose to deflect or blame our partner or try to redirect our bad behavior towards them is through lying. And lying can create a lot of damage because it does not give us the platform that we need to build trust. And so avoiding responsibility and deflecting our behavior and so on and so forth can not be a good thing, because again, it's not healthy and we hinder ourselves from self-improvement. Here is an interesting one why we can be defensive, or we are becoming defensive, and that is that we are trying to protect our ego. And this is how we associate ourselves with, as how we perceive ourselves within. And so when a person is trying to give us criticism, whether that is constructive, it is good for us to grow, or where that is negative, it begins to come in as an attack on ourself and our view of ourself. And so we go into protection mode, and there are many things and reactions that we can see from that situation. Another reason why we get defensive is because sometimes we feel unappreciated. In other words, let's say, for example, our partner in an intimate relationship begins to say, I don't think you understand me, or I don't think that you are paying attention or listening. And so in that moment, when that criticism comes across, we can choose how to interpret that. If we know ourselves and our value and our self-worth, then we will say, maybe I do need to work on my listening skills, because listening is not a very easy thing to do. It's a skill. You have to practice day in and day out to get better at that. And so if you begin to feel unappreciated, it may or could mean that your partner is not encouraging you for the things that you do good. But this is not a reason to justify defensiveness. Psychologists have researched this situation, and many doctors have looked at this situation, that if each partner creates a dynamic of, secure and feeling safe with one another, then when we give constructive criticism, that person is not going to feel attacked. They are going to feel safe, so they are less likely to be defensive. Now, that could be a time that we can discuss more in detail, but just know that sometimes we act defensively because we don't feel respected, we don't feel appreciated by our partner, and so we choose personally, it's our decision to act defensively. So these are some of the reasons, and as we summarize this, is that the reason that we act defensive is because, we are feeling attacked, we have a issue with control or trying to be superior over the other person. We are avoiding accountability, and we use the avenue of lying to deflect and actually start to blame our partner. We are trying to protect our ego and our self-worth. And again, trying to feel appreciated can make the person jump into acting and reacting defensively. So lastly, what I want to say in this video and this information is that, number one, we need to understand that defensiveness sometimes is a natural self-protection mechanism. And this is how we can, protect ourselves from life or death situations, trying to get out of a situation that is not good for us. And so we have that innate ability to do this, and we are simply bringing this one up because it is sometimes natural to act or react in a certain way depending on the situation and the threat. So I wanted to make that distinction for us. But understand that in contrast to that there is an unhealthy way of acting defensively. And I hope that through these couple of videos that we have shared, that we can definitely see and determine how the two are different. Again, this is James. If you want to continue with us here at Survivorneers, we're going to continue to talk about defensiveness. And so far we have seen the what, the why, and in the future we're going to see how not to become defensive. Thanks for watching.